A 2019 study by the National Foundation for Educational Research found that over 58% of students struggle with managing their time during an exam. That includes finding yourself stuck on a question for way too long, running out of time to answer every question in the best way possible, or even second guessing and feeling anxious about your answer, which can ultimately lead to you making silly and small mistakes. Hey there, my name is KOKETSO, and I'm a medical student at the University of Free State. And in today's video, I want us to look at the top 5 tips that could help you in an exam when it comes to managing your time, to make sure that not only do you think quickly, but you also write faster. And let's get into this video. But before we get into the 5 tips, it is very important to lay a foundation on this, and you need to know your work. And that is something that is very basic. You need to know and study your content, because if you make sense of it, there is no use trying to write and think faster if you don't know what exactly it is you're supposed to think or supposed to write. So just make sure that that is taken care of. Make sure that you've studied. So watching this video, from this point onwards, the things that you're going to implement are for someone who knows that, okay, I'm either going to study, planning to study, or I have studied already, because there is no way that you can remember something that you don't know, right? But with that out of the way, and without any further ado, let's get into the 5 tips now. The first tip is that you need to develop mnemonics and abbreviations, especially when there's a lot to memorize. Now, mnemonics are sound aids or devices that are mostly useful for memorizing long concepts, a list of items, or basically something that is supposed to come in a sequential manner, right? Examples of mnemonics include in the ear, when in grade 12, in the ear, I think it's the middle ear or the inner ear, there are the 3 bones called the ossicles, the H, A, and S. I always say the has bones, H-A-S, hammer, anvil, stirrup, right? And the same thing applies to physical sciences in grade 12 and 11, where oil rig means oxidation is loss of electrons and then reduction is gain of electrons. And sometimes mnemonics can be in the form of a sentence that makes sense. Like, for example, in anatomy, you can ask any medical student or someone who does anatomy in general that there are bones on the hand called carpal bones, which are here. I'll show and attach a picture of carpal bones somewhere on the screen. And the carpal bones, I and many other people who do anatomy or medicine remember the carpal bones as, and the bones are in that order. Some lovers try a position that they cannot handle. It is scaphoid, lunate, triquetrum, pisiform, trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, and hamate. I hope I got them right, but I'll put them here. If I'm wrong, I'm still gonna attach this clip. Now, before we continue with the video, I'd like to say that at the time of recording this video, the channel is officially 2 years old. And those of you who were with me in the beginning would know that in the beginning, I was using a cell phone that was not really top quality, and hence the images and the videos did not come out in top quality. Currently, I'm still using my phone and I do not have a camera as such. So whenever I don't have my phone and I use maybe other people's devices that do not grab up the quality as much as my phone does, and I need some serious quality for pictures, I use a resource called
futhi,
which are very proudly sponsoring this video. Hitpo is a tool that uses advanced AI to enhance the video and picture quality of your media. It uses its advanced AI algorithm to reduce noise, enhance resolution, and improve overall picture and video quality.
You can easily convert low resolution photos to high resolution to up to 4K quality with Hitpo. It is perfect and ideal for beginners, and one of my favorite features is the face model, which produces a face with a softer look, and the sharp mode brings you a face with a very sharp look. There are also details that show up where you can customize the final product to your liking, like the resolution you're looking for to better the picture quality, and the difference is visible. With just a few clicks, I create a stunning and very detailed face enhancement, which makes the picture less blurry and makes the image perfect and flawless. Besides that, you can also explore the general model, which is an ideal model that is for optimizing animal and plant pictures and the natural background. This makes it perfect for the quick repair of such textures, reducing the blur and in turn producing a very high quality image that has been expertly produced and refined to absolutely high resolution. If you thought that was it, then you're sadly mistaken, because the denoise model is the best tool for removing noise from images. along with the low light model, which gives dark and dull photos enhanced brightness, allowing them more of a pop. With HitPaw, you can bring your old photos back to life and restore them to give them a bit of personality. Other models include the color calibration, which is ideal for enhancing pictures that are under-illuminated or underexposed and lack a bit of saturation. And also the scratch repair, which is mainly useful for repairing pictures that have scratches, and many more tools within HitPaw that you can explore.
And if that sounds incredible for you, click on the link in the description box down below and on the comment that will be top and pinned in the comment section. Let's get back into the video. The next and one of the biggest tips that helped me make sure that I write anything faster in exams is to develop a principle of mark per minute. I'm pretty sure most of your teachers do talk about this an awful lot, and that is, if a question is 5 marks, aim to spend 5 minutes or less answering the question. If a question is perhaps 4 marks, spend 4 minutes answering that question. And this will help you because generally, and as a baseline, most question papers that are 50 marks are going to be 60 minutes. So that means if you spend 50 minutes answering 50 marks, then you have 10 minutes at the end to check your errors and make sure that you leave room for error. The same thing applies to a final exam of 150 marks. That is 3 hours, which is 180 minutes. That means 180 minus 150. That means that you'll be left with 30 minutes if you do the mark per minute to make sure that you check your questions. You have 30 minutes to literally go back. If there's something you didn't answer correctly, you can fix it. If you make sure that you utilize your time wisely. Develop a principle of 1 mark, 1 minute, and you'll be set to go. And the next tip is, if there's time, quickly write down what you need to remember. Like for example, if you know that you'll forget that oxidation is the loss of electrons, the moment you get to the oxidation question, the electrodynamics, is it electrochemistry, quickly write down there, OIL, oxidation is loss, RIG. It's something that I did in a test that I wrote, I think 3 hours before the time of recording this video. The moment I saw a question about the TCA cycle, also known as the Krebs cycle or the citric acid cycle, I wrote down every single thing that I know about it. I drew down the entire thing, and that is because, as I said, there was time. I looked at the time, there was only 6 marks to answer here, and I had 20 minutes. And by virtue of mark per minute, that means that I have 6 minutes to answer these 6 marks, and I have the other 14 marks to play around with. So I spend the time drawing this entire diagram, and then by the time I have to answer, it is just for me match a column to the given answer. Even though I'm the one who wrote those answers, but it's just look at what's being asked and then just match it with whatever I wrote. Because being asked, match whatever I wrote. Same principle. When you write physics, you write down basically that oil rig. Again, I'll use it as an example. And the moment they start asking, electrons are moving from the what to the what, I forgot about cathode and anode, but they move from the this to the that. And then they ask, is this reduction or oxidation? You know now, because you don't have to think. You just need to go look at the small question bank nyana that you wrote on the side and then match it there. So that's something that helps me, writing down something on the side when I know that I will need it to answer questions, but only if there is time for that. Now, the fourth point of this video basically ties into the studying and the preparation process for your exam. And that is, you need to practice under a lot of time pressure. What I mean is, you know, I hope you know the saying. If you don't, I'm telling you now. The saying that says that you practice the way you play in order to play the way you practice. So what that means is, if when you practice, you are nonchalant and you do the bare minimum and you keep checking the memo when you practice, when you get to an exam, you will be nonchalant, you will get the bare minimum when it comes to marks, and it will show that this person always requires a memo to check their answers, and no one is going to give you a memo in the exam. So that means the way you practice when you do your past papers should be the way that the exam is going to go. That is the best way to make sure that your success is enhanced. So what I do is, when I practice a past paper, assuming maybe for argument's sake, let's take maths paper 2 in grade 12. It's 3 hours. I would give myself 2.5 hours to answer it. And why is that so? It's the mark per minute. So if I don't finish it in 2.5 hours, at least try and finish it 2.5 hours in 30 minutes. Yeah. So I know that when I put myself under this much pressure, by the time I get to an exam, 3 hours is like, it's a blessing. I'm already used to doing it in 1 hour, 30 minutes. So 3 hours is a blessing. It's Christmas, you know? So practicing under a lot of time pressure. Like if you're doing, what's this? If I was doing maybe a question like in Afrikaans, there was a 10-mark question about summarizing in Afrikaans first traditional language. And whenever I'd practice at home, yes, it says 10 marks, but I'd give myself 6 minutes. And if I don't get it done in 6 minutes, then let it be maybe 7, but not over 8. So by the time I get to the exam, if I spend 6 minutes writing it, then the other 4 minutes is for me to figure out, what are they saying? Because I'm not Afrikaner, so I need to figure out what's being said. So practice under a lot of time pressure, so by the time you get to the exam, you're able to just apply yourself, because at that point you're like, you're used to this, like you've already practiced this, there's nothing new. The only difference is, as I said in a previous video, you're now in an exam room and someone's father and mother are just passing around here thinking they're monitoring you and stuff. Now this tip often goes unnoticed and is very underrated, and it is you need to constantly check the time. Now, this might sound very basic and I mean, everyone knows that, but I mean it. So first of all, if your school is the type of school that, just like my school, especially when you wrote tests, write the time like this, I'm gonna show it on the board, I'll write it on paper or something and show it on the board, then you might want to invest in a watch. I'm not saying go to Markham and buy a watch. I'm not saying tell your mother about a watch, yeah, diesel. You can literally buy a watch, like not my friend, but like when you go to the mall, there are these stalls that are there, these uncles that sell pouches and covers. Hopefully they have watches, but what I mean is, you can literally spend 50 rand on a watch there. When I was in matric, I bought a watch for 50 rand just to keep on checking the time as I go. So this will help you. Each time you are writing, you feel like you're in control. You know, as you write, you feel like you're in control. It helps. After writing a 5-mark question, look at your own time. Okay, I've spent 3 minutes. Then you look at your time, it says 11:04. And then you tell yourself, okay, the next question is 6 marks. So I want to be done by 11:04, 11:10. Then you start writing, then you check your own time. I'm done 2 minutes earlier. So doing that makes you feel like you're in control. It helps you relax. It's the complete opposite of writing. And then you pick your head up, there's 10 minutes left. So being able to see the time pass, like you feel like you're the one who's controlling the time. I don't know if it's going to help you, but it helped me. As I've already said in some video, that in this channel, I'm not giving you the ultimate solution, but rather I'm telling you what worked for me and for other people. And I hope beyond hope that it works for at least one person, and I'll be a happy man. So I dare you to try it and then tell me what you think about it. If you have a watch, bring it. And again, remember, they always say no smart watches and stuff. So just buy the analog or the digital watch and you'll be sharp. So in conclusion, the best ways to manage your time efficiently and effectively in an exam is to 1. Develop mnemonics and abbreviations. 2. Practice the principle of mark per minute. 3. Write down what you need to remember if you have time. 4. Practice under time pressure. And 5. Constantly check the timer and check the clock whilst writing the exam. I hope these tips have been helpful to you, and please share your own time management strategies and tips on the comment section that I haven't mentioned, and I'll be sure to read them, and you'll also be helping others that do read our comment section. And if you're looking for more study tips and techniques, make sure to check out the video on how to remember everything you learn. A huge thank you to Head Paul for sponsoring this video, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and stay happy and healthy. Peace.